Microphone on. Yep, good. All right, about 2 minutes, guys and ladies. All right, good evening, everyone. It's time to start our March membership meeting. Welcome to the Guild, everybody. Nice to see everyone. You know, I went to the gym this morning at 5 a.m. and I had a t-shirt on and I was perfectly warm. I don't know what happened, but I guess that's kind of like springtime in Kansas. My wife asked me yesterday, she said, "Why is it so windy? I don't remember this." I said, "Don't you live here? It's like this every year." So crazy weather like we always have. I want to welcome all of you that are watching online, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. So glad you're with us. And we've got a great meeting tonight. We looks like we have a bunch of show and tells tonight. So I'm going to move through pretty quickly, as you all know I like to do. My name is Calvin, if you haven't met me. If I haven't met you, I would love to meet you. So I get the honor of walking you through this meeting, at least for the next year or so, the next few months. So the one thing I wanted to say, we usually go through officer reports, and then we have, you know, kind of our departments do a quick report. Some of you may have seen in your emails the announcement that there's a tour of the Toy and Miniature Museum that is offered by Bill Robertson. If you haven't taken that, I know some of you in here I know have already signed up. If you haven't looked at that or you're not familiar, you should get familiar with Bill Robertson's work, because Bill is one of the premier masters of miniatures in the world. And I'm not joking. He lives here in Kansas City. I've had the privilege of meeting him a few times. He's an absolutely world class, and I mean, he's probably one of the top 10 miniaturists alive in the world. And for him to be able to offer a tour at the museum, which is probably the best miniaturist museum in the world, that is people overuse this, but this is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a very inexpensive fee. If you're on the fence at all, I would say please go. You won't get this opportunity again. You know, he builds things in typically 1 to 12 scale. So you've got little tiny pieces of furniture that are operable. He reproduces the tools. They're at absolute perfect proportion size. The drawers work. The dovetails are dovetailed. It will blow your mind. So if you're on, I could not encourage you more. If there's an opportunity out there that the Guild offers, that's one you should sign up for. So that's my evangelism on that one. So please sign up. We have tons of spaces. I think we always get the feedback that, man, I'd love to take some classes or some events, but they fill up so fast. Well, we have Bill is being super generous. We have room for 50 on each day. So there's going to be room for you if you want to go sign up. So everybody going to be there? I think I've sold it well as I can, but please sign up. It really is a super special thing. So now we're going to go through officers' reports. Ron, Ron Hall, our vice president, I know you want to come up and talk about the upcoming elections and maybe some other things. I could sort of sing a song while we wait for him to walk up. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Cal. Okay, next month, every April meeting, we have our annual business meeting, which is basically our election of officers and directors to the Guild. Next month, we have several positions that are running for office. We have, for treasurers, John Steyer, who's our current treasurer. David Roth has agreed to stay on as our secretary. Chuck Saunders is running as the assets director. He has been in that position for a while and has agreed to continue doing that. Dwayne Miller is our sponsorship chairman, and he is running for that position. Matt Nowak will be changing from programs. He wants to run for the events committee, and I believe as his assistant is Terry Johnston. A guy named Tom Vesey. Some of you, if you've taken the basic woodworking class, you know Tom, and he also teaches rough to ready, so you've probably run into him in several different places. Tom is running as the programs director, and we're looking for someone who would like to be Tom's assistant. Neat part about that is you're just kind of giving him a hand, backstopping him a little bit, helping him find people to come in to give our programs. So if you have any interest in that, see me, and we'll get you involved in that. What we will also be doing, as we have in the past, is we will be doing part of the election online. You will receive your ballot, which will be coming in the form of a message, and that'll probably go out within the next 2 weeks. We've got to check the Constitution, get the exact timing on that. That will go out. All you have to do is answer that and reply back, and there's a button at the bottom of it. All the people's name will be on there. Also, if there's someone who we have who would like to run for one of these offices, you can put your name. There's a place where you can do a write-in ballot. So it should be pretty easy. Also, nominations are still open. If you'd like to run for one of the offices, treasurer, secretary, assets, programs, sponsorship, and events. Did that all at one time. You can still submit your name if you would like to run for one of those offices, and that's the way that'll work. When you get these ballots on your email, you can respond right away. If you plan on being at the meeting, we will be conducting a vote here at the meeting also to close everything out, and that'll be at the April meeting. All of these must be returned by April 15th. We've now checked them all. So just remember, I got to vote by tax day. And we've tested this. It'll seem like it'll allow you to vote several times, but when the vote comes back, it'll only count it as one. So if you want to do that, it's not going to work real well. Does anybody have any questions on this? All right, well, thank you. Oh.
What's our quorum?
I believe it's 10% of the membership have to vote, have to be available to vote. And since we go out through the email.
Yes, the whole guild has the opportunity to vote, but
right.
We need to encourage everybody to vote.
Right, and we encourage everybody to vote and to be here for that meeting. Anybody else? If you have somebody you want to nominate, you can talk to me, talk to Tim, Tim Locke and Craig Arnold, the three of us are make up the guild nominating committee. So if you have any questions on that, just come on and see us. Other than that, look for this to come through your email. It's going out via MailChimp, just like a lot of the other messages that go out. So if you have any questions on any of that stuff, feel free. If you get this and you don't understand it, you can go ahead and email me, or you can email the nominations committee. All those addresses are included in the newsletter. So nothing else, I'm finished.
All right, thanks, Ron. Yeah, I want to encourage everyone to vote. And really, if you're thinking you want to run for one of the offices, please, we'd love for you to contact the nominating committee. This is not a closed group that are in guild leadership. We were always looking for more people to get involved in leadership. So please do. Going down the list, David Roth, do you have anything to report? I thought I saw David earlier. Treasurer, haven't seen John tonight, but I will say that we get a monthly update. We're still paying our bills, so we still want to encourage membership. So because continuing to get members helps us to do a lot more things that it helps us keep the funds. So if you have the biggest thing we can do for our treasury is when you have friends and co-workers and acquaintances and family members out there that are interested in woodworking, bring them down. We'd love to have them as members. Assets, I know Chuck over there has some great deals on some colored dowels. They're free. I say great deals. Those are free dowels over there, so check those out. We'd love to give those to a good home. There's also some plywood for sale. Chuck, do you have anything else you want to announce tonight? Yeah, the dowels are going away. Okay. Moving down, Brian Rohrbach has nothing special to report. I would say just thanks to Brian and all the work he does, keeping our IT going. Amazing work. I wouldn't even know where to start. Same thing with the newsletter. We appreciate Ron and Steve that works on our newsletter. Encourage all of you to write articles if you're doing something, you're on a vacation, you see a cool piece of furniture and you want to send some pictures in, and we'd love to see what you all are working on as far as the newsletter. Librarian Don has magazines for sale over there. You have any books tonight? A few books, so great deals. 25 cents a magazine, 5 for $1. You can't beat it. Books typically are $1. So go check that out. Great references over there. We are on social media, so I want to encourage you all to check out our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram and on Facebook. We have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. Seems to always get some good traction, so please join us on social media. We're actually trying to up our game a little bit. Casey Ziegler is now working our social media, so we're probably going to get a lot cooler. We're in the process of getting a lot cooler than we have been. Cool for us is not really a high bar, though. So we're at 549 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so please check that out. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. Thank you to Chris McCauley that does keeps that going. So Carol, membership, do you have any announcements for tonight? Oh, come on up. We're currently at 732 members. That's after everyone has sort of.
That's all I had to know. I'm kidding. So we're at 732, and new members we have 70 new members for 2025, which is great. If you haven't picked up your membership card for your discounts, do that. That little box is full. We need to get them in your pockets. That's it.
You know what? I forgot to welcome any new guests or new members tonight. Do we have any first-time guests tonight? All right. Thank you guys for being here. Usually we welcome you all at the very first thing, so I apologize. It took me long. Anybody, new members, anybody just joined, new members tonight? All right, sweet. Thank you. Okay, tonight for programs, I know Matt is out tonight, and but Amy Cox is here and Gary for Flourish Furnishings. So Flourish Furniture, you might correct me, but I know we've Jim Bainey has been involved and done a program about your organization in the past, and we're just looking forward to having you guys tonight. Steve Hicks for safety is not here. The next safety orientation is Sunday, April 13th. So if you're looking to get your green card, put that on your calendar, sign up. Rough to Ready, there are lots of classes available that's run by John Sloss and a lot of other people that help him out. That's another way to get your firsthand experience on the equipment, and that's another avenue to get your green card if you're getting introduced to the shop. And if you don't know, the green card is the what allows you to actually use the equipment, which is the coolest thing about the guild. Actually, I said cool. There's not a lot of coolness in like meeting all of us, but sometimes you meet you and you can really enjoy camaraderie as well. Sponsorship, Dwayne has items for the raffle over there tonight. So go see him. We also have the router table, the special raffle. What's that? Last call. So it's going to be raffled off next month. So if you've been wanting to get in for a chance for the router table, you need to do that ASAP. We also have Guild apparel now for sale. So go see Dwayne. And got all kinds of great stuff for you. Training, Rich, do you want to come up and do a quick training update? There's lots of stuff going on at the Guild.
Okay, so last month we had a situation that kind of is causing us to change a little bit how we do things a little bit. I've always said we've had classes that fill up really, really quickly, but we had classes that filled up so quickly, the basic class and the hand tool class filled up so quickly that some of you commented that it was full before you even got the announcement. So that's because some of you have slower internet services than others, and some of your times your email doesn't come quite as quickly. So what we're going to start doing is the announcements are going to start going out at 6:45 instead of 7 o'clock. That gives everybody a chance to see the announcement. The enrollment still won't open till 7. So if you click on the link right at 6:45, you're going to get a, hey, this is not open yet. It will open still at 7 o'clock. This is just to give everybody a chance to see the announcement before it actually opens. So we're trying that. Hopefully that gives everybody a chance to do it, to get into classes. Another class that we've got coming up that I'm really excited about is we've got this garage shop income class. So if you ever thought about turning your hobby into something that can maybe make a little bit of money, Woodcraft is actually sponsoring this guy Stone, I can't pronounce his last name, but Stone is coming via Woodcraft. They're sponsoring him to come, and as part of that sponsorship, he's willing to do a session for the Guild. If you take the class at Woodcraft, it's $100. If you take the class here, it's only cost you $30. It's just covering the cost of the book, because you're going to get a book if you come. We have room for, we've changed around our class schedule that night, so we have slots for 75. Right now we have like 40 something in the class. So if you're thinking about doing it, sign up. It's a good opportunity. It's something that won't come around very often. So garage shop income, if you're interested in that. That is April 10th. You can sign up for it now. The Craftsman Clock class. Craig is teaching the Craftsman Clock class. If you've taken that class in the past, you know that's a very exciting, people come back and they just rave about this class, all the skills that they learn in that class. That class is now open. There are still a few slots. It just opened last night. So if you're interested in building a Craftsman Clock, that's a fantastic class to take, and so that's available right now. Next week, some of you may remember Joseph Yulgin. He came here what month was that? August, September last year, showed his work. He's the one who gave us the Martin saw. And he volunteered to come back and teach us veneering. So that class is going to open up next Tuesday, and it's going to be offered on, it's going to be offered on May 10th. So he's coming out to do that class. The next class after that that's opening is on April 8th. We will open enrollment for Tom Vesey is going to teach building the wooden mug. He did a skill builder on that this last month. He's going to come back and actually teach how to make those to a class of people. So that's going to open on April 8th. Then Craig's project finishing class is going to open on April 29th. That class is going to be offered June 10th, 11th, and 12th. And again, if you haven't taken his finishing class, that is a great class to take. The next class, and then I also want to let you know, because the basic and the hand tool class did fill up very quickly, the next session of basic will be running in the summer. It starts June 26th, and it will be opening for enrollment on May 13th. And then the next hand tool class will run in the fall, starting September 11th, and it's going to open for enrollment on Tuesday, July 29th. So if you're interested in any of those classes, set your calendars to when the enrollment starts, and hopefully you'll be able to get into the class. Then we got some upcoming skill builders. These are the first the first Saturday of every month from 2 to 4. This coming up one in April, we've got slab flattening with a router, and Mike Blake is going to teach that one. Then in May, we're going to have assembling your personal toolkit. That is going to be with David Kratz. If you've never heard David Kratz give a presentation, you're missing out. He is definitely a font of knowledge. June, we're going to have Chuck Saunders is going to provide a repeat of his session on the Martin saw, showing us how to use that resource. And then in August, we're going to skip July because it's July 4th weekend. And then in August, we're going to have Wes Meyer, who's going to come and teach us his method for cabinet building. So those are that's what's coming up. And in addition to this meeting, check the Guild classifieds. We have all this information is in the Guild classifieds. It's also in the newsletters.
Awesome, thanks. And skill builders, if you haven't ever gone, the skill builders are free of charge. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to have a green card. So if you have anybody that's interested, it'd be a good chance to introduce them to the Guild and bring them down. That's one of the favorite things we do, one of my favorite things that we do here at the Guild. So the last thing on our agenda, I'm going to buzz through these really quickly, but special interest groups, we currently have 4 special interest groups, and we're going to start a 5th one, but so far right now we have hand tool SIG is what we call the special interest group. That meets on the 4th Sunday of the month. So the next one would be March 23rd. Anything special, Wayne? So sharpening. Oh, everyone loves sharpening, right? Everybody's really good at it too. I can tell when I teach classes that not everybody is good at sharpening. Are you going to have the belt sander method? Yeah. I'll be done in 5 minutes though. I'll leave you the 2 hours to do the rest. Little inside jokes there. Wood carving SIG, the next meeting is March 25th. That meets the 4th Tuesday of the month. I haven't seen Dan or Jim, but if you have any interest in wood carving, come on out. They will help you with folk carving, bird carving, power carving, any type of carving. They're the guys that will, if you're interested in carving at all, come on out and join them on March 25th. Laser engraver SIG meets on March 26th. Typically, that's also a good place to get training. I don't think anybody here is representing the SIG tonight. CNC group led by Ed Stewart. Ed is here tonight, right? Oh, he left? Okay. That next meeting is April 21st. Did I miss something over here? Oh. Well, appreciate it, guys. That's all I have. I wanted to make sure we had good time for our show and tell. Looks like we saw some great projects here. So with that, Jim, come on up. I'll turn it over to you. I think we'll get both of these mics going.
Thanks. So we've got a number of projects here. So we need to be as concise and somewhat abbreviated tonight to get everybody through as fast as possible. So starting with Kevin, you want to? Okay, John.
This won't take long.
There's a mic.
This shouldn't take long. Just some little lanterns made on the laser, little battery-operated tea lights, and something silly and kind of pointless, a coaster. I thought it was kind of a neat mechanism.
How long did it take you to think of that?
I buy all my designs. I would never be able to design that. This is designed by the same guy that designed these and most of the other things I make. Vasily 39 in Czechoslovakia someplace, or Czech Republic, or Czechia, or I'm not sure what they call it now. Yeah, just kind of a silly little thing, and I'm doing so much really tiny stuff. A really small glue bottle.
Do you have a problem with that plugging up?
Yes, but I have. I also do some 3D printing, and they have. They were originally acupuncture needles, very stiff needles. You can just poke through there and cleans it out.
Those are wood needles, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Steel.
All right.
But yeah, they're pretty stiff, and they.
Where'd you get that?
Amazon. I think I got like 50 of them for like $6.
You got any more?
I got a ton of them. I think this is the 5th one I've used in 3 years.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll bring in some.
I'll take a dozen.
All right.
Okay. Anybody got any that?
It's useless, but fun.
All right. Anybody got any questions about this? Did you have a question? No. Oh, okay. You're on. Thanks, John.
All right. So this one here in Cherry is what I built with the help of Cal. I took his class at the end of last year on these Lindenberry inlay boxes. There was a lot by the end that I would have done differently, so I kind of started making this one almost simultaneously. Kind of took a little bit extra time. Took a lot of extra time, and yeah, changed quite a few things.
What would you change?
So on this one, I waited until the very end and just scraped everything. This one, I kind of just did it as I went along, so it's a lot less broken up here. This was the first time I used like hollows and rounds to create my own molding by hand. So that was another thing that I wanted to try compared to this, which was just done on a router. And the feet, since I hated turning so much, I just made those.
You hate turning?
I am not part of the guild, no.
Okay. So, what's the purpose of these boxes? What are you going to use them for?
Store my Bibles.
Okay.
That's what they used to be stored for. I don't know where.
Keep them in the box.
That's right.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna fill this
So,
with.
what did you use for a finish on this?
Both of them is boiled linseed oil. I thought that was about the clearest to not stain the white. So I wasn't confident enough with my shellac skills to do that.
Okay. So, just one coat or multiple?
Just about one. Yeah.
On both of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was told wipe it on, wait a month, and if you still don't like the way it looks, put another one on. And
Okay. So you took this class from Cal.
yes, yep.
Would you recommend it?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Okay.
He teaches a little bit of everything. Teaches workflows that I would not usually do. So yeah.
You going to do this class again, Cal?
Hopefully not. I already took this one. Hopefully he'll teach me something else.
Okay. Very good. So what do you got planned for the future? What's your next project?
Lots of chairs. So,
Chairs?
Yeah, so go in a different direction. So, yep.
I have been told that there are only 5% of woodworkers ever attempt to build a chair.
Okay. So I've made it. I'm 5%.
All right. Will you bring them in when you?
Next month, I'll see you guys then.
Okay.
All right.
Got questions?
He's going to teach a class on chair making this fall.
Are you really?
I am, yes. A couple different classes on.
What kind of chairs are they going to be?
The first, I think we're thinking about doing a stool, just a small, like, milking stool.
Okay.
And then the second one will be like a Welsh stick chair. So I just got back from Kentucky with Chris Schwartz, and he kind of filled in a lot of stuff.
At Bria?
At Covington. He's
Oh.
got a Lost Art Press.
Okay.
So he kind of filled in a lot of the gaps I had, gave me some pointers, and yeah.
Good. Looking forward to that. Anybody got
I am
any
too.
questions about these boxes? Nice work.
Appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Yes.
All right. Hello, I'm Mike Blake, one of the shop foremen here. Cal mentioned earlier, April 5th, I believe, I'll be doing a skill builder on our slab router table, which is 99.9% complete, and we're ready to start testing on that. So come out on that Saturday, and I encourage all the shop foremans to come out to learn all the intricacies of the table, and we'll do a demonstration on that day. Today, I've designed, really it's not my design, it's a culmination of 15 different YouTube videos, me waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and saying, I think I've got it. So I designed something that will go in conjunction with our garage income workshop coming up as well. This is a what's called a juice groove jig, designed to cut grooves in cutting boards or charcuterie boards. So this is the juice groove that that goes around the outside of the cutting board. This particular jig is adjustable for different size cutting boards, and I've dubbed it the GROOVY jig, and this is now going to be part of the Kansas City Woodworkers Guild. I will be hanging it probably back here on the wall somewhere, and you're welcome to use it, and feel free to ask your shop foreman to help you if you're unfamiliar with it.
So basically,
You're good, Jim.
okay, so basically this works like like,
I can do a really quick. So on each of the pieces, I've put a number on the side of the piece. On this side, on the left-hand side, you'll see a number 1. That number 1 will go here in front of you. There will be and another number 1 that will be on the next piece, and so you'll kind of take the knobs off, if you wouldn't mind. There you go. One-handed, this is a little bit difficult. You slide this through the groove. You would put the nut back on. Oh, super, thank you. Not so close. So number 2 would be on this side. So you're going to put the number 2 with the number 2. I'm not going to put all these knobs back on. We'll kind of figure this out as we go. Whoop. We're going to get this all lined up, kind of, sort of. So when it's all put together, what you do is, I'll take this piece of wood. You lay your cutting board down inside of the jig. You will work these pieces together, tighten up your clamps, and the inside of the jig is designed with a 1-inch spacer. With the smaller router, you have a 4-inch base. That means the center of your router bit will be at 2 inches, which will give you a 1-inch reveal, and if you use a 1/2-inch bit, you'll have a 3/4 inch reveal. So you just kind of put the router inside the jig, and you'll just follow that around, and that will cut a groove for your juice groove in your cutting board. If you're using a larger router, it's a 6-inch base, so you have a 3-inch center on that. What you need to do is kind of space these out a little bit. You'll have a block of some sort, whatever distance you want that juice groove to be from the edge. You space it out like that, and then you would use the larger router. You don't want your groove 3 inches in from the edge, so you just kind of have to work with this. It's going to take a little bit of math, so you'll figure it out.
good. Questions? Nice jig. Love it. Craig, you next? Okay.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm nice. And you?
Nice day.
It is. I went out to one of our sponsors to buy some lumber, and I needed some stuff that was at least an inch thick. By the time I got it back, got it planed down, it was no longer an inch because of the divots inside of it. So I thought I'd give up on that project and go to this one. My wife saw this LIMBERT tabouret table in an old magazine I had, and I thought, yeah, I can use that, so I'll just plane this stuff down to 3/4 and knock it out. But how do you make all these pieces? I want to set this down so I can take this apart.
Okay.
Thank you. So how do you make all these pieces the same? And the author in this article goes through and how he draws it out, then cuts it on a bandsaw, then shapes it with the sanders and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, there's the image right there. I've got a laser. And so I imported this page into the Lightburn software and got rid of everything that I did not need. And all I had was the pattern. Well, of course, it was real small. So, but it gives me the dimension, 25¼ inches. So I took my pattern and enlarged it 25¼ inches, and I cut this.
On the laser.
On the laser. And so this took maybe 4 minutes to do. It took longer to get rid of all the crap on this image than it did to actually image this thing and cut it out. So then a few pages back is the image for the shelf right down here. And it gives you the dimension. Oh, it's 10½ inches. So I got rid of everything, imported that into Lightburn, got rid of everything I didn't need, and cut the shelf. And so roughing it out on the bandsaw, the first thing you have to do though on this is cut the rabbet on your blank so that your rabbet is even on there. I'm going to give you that. And so you have to start with one, and then you just start adding them to it. And this rabbet in there, the rabbets interlock up here.
Jim, hold the mic up to him so we can hear.
The rabbets interlock up here on the top and the bottom. So when you assemble it, a little glue on the rabbets, and then you pin nail it. And then you add the next one. And then this one also can get pin nailed, glued and pin nailed. And the last one that goes in just gets glued in. And you actually let the shelf float. Here, if you can hold that. It's easier to do it up this way. And so when it comes together, you have all your rabbets. All your rabbets are coming together up there at the top. And then with my trammel, you got my little hole in the back, and the top will be attached with a couple of pieces of, 4 pieces of brass that will hold this top on here. So, but Rich and I were talking about maybe making this a class. I don't know if anybody'd like to make a table like this, but it's a good way to learn how to use the laser to
Craig,
make
move your top so I can get those rabbits.
like that.
There you go.
Yeah. It helped to show them a little bit apart, like that. Yeah, but the fun part was like, hey, I can actually take this PDF and import it into Lightburn and get rid of the stuff that I don't need, and then, hey, make my template. That's what was fun about this, is it was fast. Because all of this took maybe about 4 hours to do. So, not bad.
Questions?
Sure.
Okay, so you gonna put a finish on this?
Yes.
What you gonna finish it with, Mr. Finish?
Well, it will be dyed amber, honey amber, transient dye. Well, the exact process is I will evaluate it with alcohol, take care of any problems. I'll raise the grain with
hear that,
distilled
Gary?
water. I'll raise the grain with distilled water, sand it lightly with 220 grit, wipe off all the dust or blow it off, dye it with transient honey amber dye, a shellac wash coat to protect the dye, and then antique.
We lost you about 5 minutes ago.
Well, if you take my class, you've taken my class.
I have taken your class.
This ought to be familiar to you.
It is. That's why I asked.
But then it will be glazed with antique walnut gel stain from General Finishes, and then 3 coats of Armor Seal. That will be the finish.
The finish is going to take you a lot longer than.
It'll take me days longer than it did to make
Really?
this thing. Yeah.
You going to bring it in when you're done with
Yeah.
it? Awesome.
I hope to bring it in next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you have enough time.
Yeah, if I start.
You're not going to get
if I
a
start
finish
when I
on
get
in a
home
month.
tonight.
Okay.
So,
All right. Questions?
but we're kind of taking a pulse on if people would like to make this table and learn how to use the laser and the jigs at the same time.
Okay.
Well, you have questions?
Opportunity there.
How long would that actually take you to do the whole finish?
The whole finish, if I worked on it every day, it would take about 8 days. You have to let things dry overnight.
Okay, next. Thanks, Craig. Good. Here you go. Sure.
Hi, I'm Doug again. See you guys. And it's going to be a printer table. I'm making a live edge desk that'll match, but it'll be too big to bring in. But on the side, I had fun making all this. With the wood inlays. A couple months ago, I was here with a tray I made a practice with my inlay. And
He needs to go back next to Jim. I'm getting feedback on him, so.
And made the tray with those inlays, and this is what I was practicing for, to make that. And it's made out of walnut and maple trim, and then it also has tiger wood and mahogany for the inlays. And the drawers, had a lot of fun with got a little jig that I can make the dovetails, and they're called arrowheads. It's a lot of fun making all that.
What's the name of the jig, the dovetail that you used? Was that a Lee?
It's wood line.
Oh, okay.
Had it for years.
Interesting. I've never seen that before.
You can make hearts. You can make all kinds of different things. Oh, okay. He told me to park it other so they could see the thing. Okay, and then as far as where the wood came from, this is kind of interesting. The top is from, we have a farm, had a walnut tree that fell, so that's a slab we cut years ago. My brother and I cut it down, and I know we're going to do a flattening class soon. He has one of those, so we flattened it up at the farm. It's up by Kirksville, Missouri. And anyway, I'm trying to be fast because I know we're...
What kind of finish do you have on this?
Tried and true.
Okay. I'm not familiar with it. What's it?
It's something that Rockler recommended. So I was out there getting some maple wood, and I asked them, and they helped me.
Okay.
And it's a beeswax and mineral spirit.
Okay.
I hope Craig likes that one. I don't know. But finishing, I want to do the class, but I can never get in. But I'll get in one of these days. But anyway, any questions? Yes.
I'd like to know how you did that inlay. Did you?
Jim, can you repeat that question?
He wants to know how I did the inlay. And so I have you buy little packages that make different things, and it's like 6 pieces. So I'd go and I'll cut the pieces out with a plunge router inside a plastic a form that they make, like a jig, and then you have numbered 1 through 6. So you just follow the numbers and put them in one at a time. It's time consuming. It takes a lot of time. I enjoy it.
I have a question.
Yes.
You used side mount drawer slides. Did you ever consider using undermounts?
I wasn't sure how to do it when there wasn't a floor in it. But yes, I've used them before, but only once. But
Okay.
I'm just more comfortable with these just because I haven't made that much, so it's not like.
Yeah, but what I like about them, it eliminates.
Yeah, having that on it hides part of the artwork.
You do a great piece of woodworking, for a drawer side.
Yeah, and then you put the side on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's correct. But anyway, thanks for letting me bring it down.
Very good. Any questions about? Yes, sir.
Yes.
I've never seen those dovetails. How do you do that? Do you cut first?
Woodline has a jig for that, and I purchased it actually at one of the woodworking shows that they used to have years ago. I probably had it 10 years, and you can make dovetails, you can make ones that look like hearts, but you basically it's 2-sided. So it's a flat flat piece here of a tool, and then on each side it has the male and female parts, and then you line it all up the way you want it, and it's pretty easy. And yeah, I did it all with the router. I'm sorry, yes, yeah, it's all with the router, and then it has a I think it's a 3/16 router upfit up bit, and that's what I used to make it takes a lot of time to make them too, and the legs took me forever trying to figure out the legs, and I made all the trim on my router.
Are you going to continue with this design for other pieces of furniture?
I have a desk that I'm making, so I've already made the panels and stuff, and I'm getting ready to make the cabinets. Then I've got a 5-foot piece of this.
Ah, awesome.
That'll be for a desk, so it'll match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
This pulls out. It's got a, it's rolling. It's hard to do one-handed. Go in here. I made a place for hanging file cabinet. So it's kind of fun to, whatever you want to use it. It'll be like a file cabinet and a printer table.
Awesome piece. Any more questions? This one? Very good. Thanks for bringing that in. I'm last. I bought a new planer a couple months ago, and I wanted to make. I saw a design similar to this in shop notes, and so I modified it. My planer is 15 inches wide, and it's got a pretty long bench on it. So I wanted to make something that I could take the twist out of lumber easily. Another way to do this is of course, using a router. I've got a setup for a router to flatten a slab. Anyway, so I tried this, and it works pretty well. The way it works is you basically take half of the twist out on the first, on top, and then once you got a flat surface, you just take, you don't use this anymore, you just take and run the rest through, hoping that you got enough material left that you can use. Anyway, this works really well. It takes a little bit to set up, but it's extremely accurate. The one thing that it doesn't do well at is take the bow out of a piece of wood. The problem is that this has got enough flex in it, and the feed rollers on my planer press down so hard on the flat table that I can't tell if I'm taking the bow out or not. So I'm still dealing with that, but this does take the twist out really well. Question?
Do you use winding sticks to see how flat it is after it goes through the planer? And could you explain what winding sticks are to those who may not know what those may be?
I use 3 winding sticks. And a winding stick is a stick, a piece of wood, and I put nails on that are pointing up, so I got exact points. And I'll put one across here, one across here, and one across here. And then I'll go back to the end and I'll line those up. If all 3 of them line up, you know that's a straight line, and if the other side lines up, you know it's flat, and then you can cross them. If they line up crossways, you know it's flat. But you can tell. I mean, you can sight down a piece of wood pretty easily. That you can tell if it's flat or not. I tried. The first time I used this, I tried flipping it over and taking the rest of it off. That didn't work too well. It just would, I mean, you already have a flat surface, so why not use it? Anyway, and the other thing about this one is that these are movable, and they have a set screw on the side that I can move these. And then it's got an edge on the side that, because the force of the lumber that you're pushing it through on the planer goes to the back, so it works pretty well. I'm glad I spent the time to do this. I spent $4,000 on a planer, so I better have the appropriate accessories to go with it. Anyway, any questions about it? Thanks. One more?
Hey, Mr. Jim, how are you?
Good. Good to see you. How you been?
Only been dead 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got 6 more to go.
Yeah.
What have you got?
I have a little problem through a bunch of errors and other things. I was using the wrong storage area back here, and my shelf got cleared. That's irritating. So, you know, through the errors, oopses, or whatever. Anyway, the wood's gone. The tools were gone. I did find them. I talked to my friends back in the Turners, and they said this was donated. Somebody came in off the street and donated to the Wood Guild, so they gave it to the Turners. The problem is that about half my tools are missing. So, I don't want to hurt anybody, although it would be really a lot of fun, but that just feels wrong, you know? But if somebody comes across, there was up front for a while, it was in the back. If somebody has acquired new tools lately, see if
They're turning tools?
They're turning tools.
Okay.
Yeah. This is about half of what I used to carry in the bag.
Okay, so you got pictures of them?
I'm still looking for them. I have had 2 computers crash since the last time.
Okay, but you do have someplace.
I think so.
If you find them, can you put them in the newsletter with a request if you could get them back?
I could try.
Okay.
But basically, I'm just asking if you acquired some and may or may not be from my set, bring them in, turn them in.
Well, yeah.
You know, I don't need to know, you know, if you took one because you thought they were, you know, they said they were all donated, so giving away. Basically, that's all I'm looking for, is see about getting them back.
Have you talked to Chuck?
A little bit.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay. So, lesson learned?
Yeah, several lessons learned. Make phone calls instead of waiting on emails.
Don't store tools.
Don't store tools here, that sort of stuff. So anyway, if you all find some, know whether, you know, some show up, let me know, bring them in, leave them in the office with my name on it. I'm Mark the Troublemaker, by the way, and you know, I'd appreciate it. If it doesn't, well, I guess I'll be spending more money. But anyway.
That's only money.
It's only money, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, thank you all. Keep your ears and eyes open, and make more sawdust, please.
All right, Cal, I think that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for bringing your projects in. Love show and tell. So we are doing well on time. I think we've got time for about a 10-minute break. And then please feel free to go up and look at the projects, go grab a snack, get something to drink, and we'll come back in 10 minutes for our program with Amy and Gary. Okay, thanks.
Hello, and welcome to the Kansas City Woodworkers Guild. I'm Mike Blake, and I'm going to address the personal safety concerns when working in the shop here at the Guild. Keep in mind that, like all safety videos, this video focuses on the safety concerns of the machine and is not a complete training program for the use of any of the power tools or machines in the shop. First, let's consider how we need to prepare ourselves to work safely in the shop. Let's start with how we're dressed. It's important not to have loose hanging clothing that can get caught in machines and pull your body in. Well-fitting clothes works best, preferably just what you need to be comfortable in the shop. Avoid wearing coats and other long-sleeve shirts, especially with loose cuffs. Avoid baggy pants or shorts and pants with holes that can catch on protruding shafts and levers. Anything that falls is headed for the floor, and that's where your feet are. Protect your feet by wearing sturdy, closed-toed shoes. Steel boots are preferred, and sandals are not allowed in the guild shop during open shop. Gloves are not to be worn while using machines. The only exceptions are the skin-tight, latex, nitrile, exam-type gloves. Much like clothing, long hair can get caught in rotating machinery with horrible results. Long hair needs to be confined by a hat, headband, or tied back to keep it out of harm's way. Loose-fitting jewelry also poses the risks found with long hair and loose clothing. Loose and dangling jewelry should not be worn. To avoid catching on tools and machines, it is best not to wear any jewelry while working in the shop. So far, we have addressed things that can cause injury by bringing your body into contact with moving machine parts or material. Now let's look at what we can do to protect our body from external threats. Start with protecting your hearing. Some of the machines are quite loud, and with multiple machines running, the volume can cause harm to your hearing. Wearing earmuffs or earplugs can reduce the volume of harmful frequencies found in the shop. The use of safety glasses in the shop is not just a good idea, they are a hard requirement for being in the shop while work is going on. Not just when you're using a machine, but anytime you're in the shop during classes or open shop. Safety glasses must be proper safety glasses with side shields. The lenses will be marked ANSI Z87.1, regular prescription glasses, even if they have polycarbonate lenses, are not safety glasses. They must be certified with ANSI Z87.1. From the eyes, let's move back just a little into the most important safety device, your brain. Make sure you think about safety. Take a moment to determine if this is a good time for you to be working in the shop. Be honest with yourself, and don't let deadlines or opportunities lead you into a dangerous situation. You risk injury. Don't work in the shop when you have been drinking or using drugs that dull your senses. Finally, only work in the shop when you are focused on working in the shop. If you're preoccupied with issues at work or at home, you're not giving life-threatening machinery your undivided attention. Think safe, work safe. Before you start working in the shop, take a moment to assess the area you're going to be working in. Finding out mid-operation that you're blocked from completion and you need to stop midway to clear the obstruction is not a good situation and may compromise your personal safety. Making sure the area you're working in is clean and free of debris that could cause you to have trip hazards, poor footing, or be in the way of completing the operation. Always best to make sure you have the room to complete your operation from start to finish. Finding out that the wall is 12 feet from the saw blade as you are ripping a 14-foot long board is troublesome. Take a moment to make sure the machine has all of the required safety equipment in place. Guards are in place and dust collection is connected. You can't always assume that the tools are set up for the task that you have to do. Be aware of others working around you, especially in the guild shop. you are not alone. You need to be aware of other people working in the area around you and ensure that they will not be obstructing your work path. Likewise, making sure you are not obstructing theirs. Okay, now you're ready to get to work. But wait, there's more to be considered. Think through the job again to avoid any surprises. Make sure that your wood is going to stay where it is intended to stay. That means supporting the wood throughout the process to avoid the wood tilting or shifting in an unexpected direction. Roller stands and support tables help a lot. Sometimes the operation just doesn't lend itself to a roller stand. That's when you go to the ultimate stability accessory. Ask someone for help. People are very good at steadying a piece as you guide it through the machine. This is one reason it is important to assess your needs before you start so you can line up help ahead of time. Better than yelling help mid-cut. Keep in mind that there is a balance of forces in the world. When you pick up one end, the other end goes down. Make sure you balance those forces so that, for example, the board doesn't lift off the saw when it comes off the roller stand. Think through the order of operations so that you don't perform one operation that makes the next operation undoable. For example, if you cut your board to a finished length of 10 inches, it is now too short to run through the joiner or the planer. Think ahead so you aren't tempted to make a bad decision to work unsafely. Examine your material to make sure that it is sound enough to be used for your purpose. This includes making sure the material does not harbor surprises like trapped metal or other non-wood materials. Also look for loose knots or heavy splintering that could make the piece hang up while feeding. In a nutshell, make sure that the wood is the wood you need and not the wood you have to make do. Bargains can be costly. Finally, in planning your work in the shop, make sure that you are planning to use the tools appropriately. Don't try to make a tool work for a purpose that it is not intended for, no matter what you saw on YouTube. In closing, I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video and spending some time preparing before you start cutting. Preparation eliminates surprises and makes your woodworking safe and enjoyable. This is Mike Blake for the Kansas City Woodworkers Guild. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late over there chatting. I usually introduce our speaker, but for this, I'm going to bring Jim back up to do the introductions. Jim has been engaged in working with this organization for a while, and thought that would be much more appropriate. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, so I think 4 years ago, I was looking for 4 years ago, I was looking for a community service organization that I could donate my time. Consider myself a furniture builder, and I've spent 45 years being a carpenter. So I ran into a guy I knew that went to Church of the Resurrection, and he had been a volunteer for a program that they run, I think it was called My Father's House. And it was about rehabbing furniture that they were giving away to people in need. So I signed up, and I was there about the first hour that I was there, and I said, this is a place for me. And I've been there ever since. What I do now is I started repairing furniture that came in that needed repair. And I'll let Amy and Gary talk about the actual operation of what goes on. So I think 3 years ago, I can't remember, 2 years or 3 years ago, we were in dire need of small kitchen tables. So I came to the Guild and I said, I have a design for a small card table size kitchen table that people who live in an apartment, which most of these people in need do live in apartments, would facilitate. So I came to the Guild, and the Guild donated a lot of material, and we started building tables. I put on a class of how I build a small table and finish it, we built, I think, 12 tables, 12 or 15 tables, and everybody who, we built them and then we donated them to the Guild. But what happened was I've had people come back and tell me, I built a couple of tables since, learning how it was done. I've since modified what I do there. Let me backtrack a little bit. Last year, we donated those, I think, 15 tables at one time, and we kept building them. Another member here, Steve Erickson, and I, and Mike Jones, Kevin, a couple of other people, we kept building them. Tim, you've built a couple of tables and donated them. We kept building them, and we kept getting donations of material. I actually got down to the point where I could build a table from start to scratch and put a finish on, a one-coat finish, in 4 hours. I ended up the year, I was a little bit burned out on it, but I ended up the year, I think I built 56 tables. We built 56 tables and donated them for that year. And it's kind of a drop in the bucket for what we really need, but it was 56 tables. I mean, it was, anyway, Flourish has been here before a couple of years ago and put on a talk about what they do. I now go in another part of what I do is I go in and once a week on Tuesdays, and I look for projects that I can take home to my shop. One of the things I do is I find coffee tables that I can repurpose the legs on and make kitchen tables out of them. They're big enough to do that. I've done that quite a bit. I've lost count how many I've done, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to introduce Amy Cox. She runs the place. I don't know what you're executive director, and you can introduce Gary and tell us what you do and how we can get more involved with it.
I'm going to give a broad overview of the organization, and I think you have some slides for me too. Yeah, so I'll give a broad overview of the organization, and then I'll hand it over to Gary. Each of our departments within the organization, which is almost all volunteers. There's 4 staff members. Everyone else there is a volunteer. But each department has a liaison that is kind of in charge of the volunteers in that area. And Gary is our liaison for our woodworking department. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide. Flourish started in 2009 as part of Church of the Resurrection, which Jim alluded to a little bit. It was originally called My Father's House, and it was started by a gentleman who worked for HUD and would go into apartments all the time and see people who were sleeping on the floor, sitting and eating on the floor, children who'd never had a bed, and then drive home and see just all kinds of abundance in his community, and would see lots of furniture on the side of the road, at the end of the driveway. So he started to collect some things on his own and did that in his garage for a short period of time and realized that that was a very short road to, not being able to do everything that he wanted to do. So he went to the Church of the Resurrection, and asked for some storage space originally, and then started to build out a ministry that became My Father's House. and they started to work with case managers throughout Kansas City to furnish the houses of individuals that were living in empty spaces. You can go ahead and go to the next one. So part of the magic of what Flourish does is that we don't have any case managers on staff, so we don't have the ability to vet individuals for need, and we also don't have the ability to follow along to help them get the housing, to follow along with individuals after they receive housing to make sure that they're able to continue to maintain that. So the magic is we work with about 83 partner agencies right now, and some of those are represented in this slide here. And they do all kinds of work throughout the city. So we work with organizations that are domestic violence shelters, kids aging out of foster care, immigrants and refugees, individuals who have been evicted, individuals who have lived in the woods before, and all sorts of groups of people that have experienced housing instability for one reason or another, for many, many reasons. And before Flourish, what all of these groups were doing, once they got somebody into housing, they were trying to, their case managers were going to their neighbors and their friends and saying, I need all the stuff, you know? And so they were getting maybe a bed, maybe some dishes, and maybe one other piece of furniture for this whole family. And they were spending about 10 hours when they did that. When Flourish came along, we have a warehouse space where we are able to give that family an entire home of not just furniture, but home essentials. So towels, linens, cookware, bakeware, all kinds of things, artwork, decor, everything that would go into your first apartment is what we give to each family. And in turn, we are saving these organizations from having to do all that work. So for just an hour or two of their time, they're able to refer individuals to us. They don't have to store things. They don't have to figure out how to get things. They don't have to pay for storage space. They send them to us, and we stay very well in our lane, and we just provide them all the things that they need for their home. So in that way, we are not only providing a service on our own, but we're also building the capacity of every single one of these partner agencies in the community. So they vet them for need, and they follow along with them after they've come to us. You can go to the next one. Okay, so I'll back up even a little further than that. In 2022, we served about 882 families. 2023, 1,069 families. 2024, we served 1,302 families. And we're going to serve about 1,500 families this year. So you can kind of see the trajectory there. And what that takes is just more and more churn within the organization. So we can do about 40 appointments a week now. If we're really pushing it, we end up doing about 32 appointments a week usually. And that means about 32 moving trucks full of items coming into the facility and about 32 moving trucks worth of items going out of the facility every week. So it's a lot of movement through. You can go ahead and go to the next one. So what does being unhoused look like? Go to the next one. Reasons for referral, we went over that just a little bit. Unsanitary living conditions is another one. We often get people who, maybe can't afford the best housing. They move into what they can afford, and pretty soon there's some sort of infestation that was there before they got there. They didn't know they lose everything, and they don't have the margin to be able to replace all of those items. So they have a case manager that can help them find new housing, but they have to start all over with their belongings. Go to the next one, please. And the next one. Okay, so we talked a little bit about what we provide to them. Really, truly is just about everything that can go into a home space. When people call me on the phone and say, do you take this, do you take that? I say, just think of the first apartment you ever moved into. And if you were like me, I got some of the things from my parents, maybe a few things from my aunt and uncle, where I was able to purchase a few things, but a lot of things were borrowed at first until I kind of got it all together and then started to replace it. So we are the aunt and uncle for all of these individuals that come to us. We provide them everything all at once, and then the idea is as they're able to move forward in life, maybe they can also pass some of these things along to others. Go ahead. And it's also just the really small touches are what make Flourish special. So we provide them everything, but we're also very intent on doing it in a very dignified way. And our dish sets are one of those examples. Actually, Gary's wife, Karen, is in our dish packing area. And this is an area where we take all kinds of mismatched dishes that have been donated to us, maybe partial sets, and we turn those into beautiful dish sets that we give out to our guests. And it tells them three things. When they get the box, which is at the top there with the 2 volunteers holding it, we're going to make the process very easy for them. So we've put the things together in a way they don't have to go through 100, dishes to find 3 that match for their family. It's going to be very dignified. Every member of the family gets a matching place setting. They get drinkware for cold and hot drinks. They get silverware. Every family member gets a cloth placemat and a cloth napkin, and they get serving pieces. And the third thing it tells them is that they're going to get choice. So we don't walk up to them with a box of dishes and say, here are your dishes. We have a whole shelf that they get to pick their own dishes off of that shelf, and they come in those nice box sets that have a picture on the outside so that they know what they're getting. Before and after picture. So I'm always amazed when we receive these. All of these items are free for these families, and if you can imagine living in the upper picture, and that's what a lot of families were doing, sleeping on the floor, maybe a couple of blankets and a couple of pillows, to living in an actual furnished space. The next one. And this is just a quote. Actually, this is about Karen, Gary's wife, because she does such a fantastic job shopping with the individuals, right down to people who shop with each individual. Everyone is a volunteer. You know the next one. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our volunteers, and then I'm going to hand it over to Gary specifically to talk about the woodworking shop. So in our facility, and a lot of furniture banks, there are furniture banks across the country. We are the only ones serving anyone in Kansas. There are no other furniture banks on the Kansas side. One other furniture bank on the Missouri side, and that's in St. Louis. So we are the only furniture bank for a very large area. There are other furniture banks around the country, but one of the things that is really interesting about what we do is that we not only bring the things in and send them back out, but we actually make them a lot better while they're there. So we have a sorting department. They sort through everything, make sure things don't have stains or tears. We have a sewing department that repairs material goods. We have the dish pack area that I told you about. People that vacuum and clean every piece of upholstered furniture, people who repair upholstered furniture. We have an electrical department where everything that has a cord is tested before we give it back away. We have furniture movers and people who drive in the community to pick up items. But what's really special are our workshop areas where we can not only take things that someone else would be discarding to go to the landfill. We saved over 600 tons of items from the landfill last year, but we can make it even more beautiful than when it came to us, so that when somebody receives a piece of furniture, they really feel like they were at a place that really cared about them enough to make it something special. So I'm going to let Gary talk a little bit about all the things they do to make that furniture special in the woodworking department, and hopefully convince some of you that you'd like to come take a tour or volunteer.
Thank you, Amy. I was very impressed with your show and tell here tonight. It's some really unique and beautiful pieces. As Amy said, I'm the liaison in the woodworking department. We have about 22 people. Sorry, I'm not used to working on a mic. I usually just yell at people. But really nothing starts at Flourish until we get donations. Everything that comes in that we give away has been donated by individuals or by corporations. And without them, we would be out of work. I mean, we'd be hurting a lot. We repair furniture. And that sounds simple, but we do dining room chairs, dressers, end tables, coffee tables, sofas. We tighten up a lot of legs on sofas and dining tables. It doesn't sound very glamorous, but you can't give away a table with loose, wobbly legs. So we check all that before, when it comes in and before it goes out, that they all get fixed. We also use recycled materials as much as we can in our repairs. We've used the actual leaves of tables, because most of our clients are, as Amy says, they're in small apartments. We can't put a 8-foot dining room table in a small apartment. So we'll take the leaves out of it, and we use those later on to repair other furniture, to put shelves in furniture, anywhere we can use them. We also, if it can't be repaired, which is a small number, we'll sort of harvest the hardware off of the materials. We'll take all the hinges off. We'll take the knobs and pulls off and save them. We even take the nuts and bolts and screws out if they're good. And we have a complete 24-foot, 8-foot tall shelving system that holds all those hardware pieces. And if any of you have been to the hardware store lately, it's outrageous what they get for hardware today. And that's almost like money in the bank for us to have that savings there. We have built tables in the past out of donated headboards from a hotel. It sounds crazy, but a couple of our guys got together on a Saturday and decided we could do something with these headboards, and that's what we did. We built dining tables out of them. And we got down to, we could build 3 dining tables in 2 guys in 4.5 hours. I didn't get the finishing done, but we got 4 tables built, 3 tables built. And we've done those type of things in the past. We've also replaced the legs, the old Queen Anne legs. We've actually cut those out on the bandsaw and put those in place. We sort of brag about some of the things we do, but what we really try to do is keep things simple. We can't get very elaborate. Our guys try to do 4 or 5 repairs a day, and our days are 4.5-hour days. And that's a lot of repair. Our goal is to keep the showroom stocked, and that's a never-ending battle. As Amy says, the inventory is coming in and going out at an unbelievable rate. I recently got involved with watching it come in. I used to just work in the woodworking department, and I sat back in our corner, and when they brought the furniture in to be repaired, we repaired the furniture. But now I actually interface with that furniture out on the docks, and we decide whether it needs to be repaired or can be cleaned and put right on the floor, or in the worst case may have to be sent to the dump, unfortunately. Again, before it goes sent to the dump, we strip it of anything of value to us. We're constantly looking for new people to staff our woodworking department. We've gotten some good ones right from the guild here and from the Turners, and they've really worked out well. It's a little different handling repairs than it is handling new construction. Until you really do it, it's hard to explain. But one of the things what you gain by doing repairs is you actually see how furniture was originally constructed. And some of it, we're dealing with 50, 60-year-old furniture. And you also see why it failed. So you're not only teaching yourself how to repair it, as it was, but you also have to find ways to repair it so it doesn't fail again. So that's the challenge that we face when we repair furniture. Again, I said we were always looking for volunteers to help in our woodworking shop. Everybody, all levels of skills, from the person that comes in and helps clean up that furniture in the beginning, cleaning and putting on knobs and putting on legs that are missing. It doesn't sound real exciting, but it has to be done. And we continue to do that on a daily basis. Right now we have several time slots that are available to people. We have Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 8:30 to 12:30. We also have Tuesday nights occasionally. Yeah, 5 to 8:30. We do have Fridays, so they are open to clients on Fridays, but our volunteers will be on Friday. I'll be in on this Friday. So we try to have fun when we're there, along with all the hard work we're doing. But that's what we do. We try to keep things simple, happy, and have fun. So, any questions?
When you showed some of the other places, your first slide that you partner with, I noticed one that wasn't on there was Habitat for Humanity. Have you ever tried to, or you do not partner with?
Yeah, so Habitat doesn't typically use used furniture, and most of the individuals, not all, but most are already housed as they're building their new homes, so they might be, you know, in a rental home, and they're trying to be able to own their own home. So they're not usually coming from homelessness. And most of the individuals that we serve are unhoused before they get to us. We don't do appointments for people who just need 1 or 2 items, because we don't have enough appointment slots to do that, and then also to serve people who need everything. It is unbelievable how many people need literally everything in their home. So we don't do, if somebody just needs a sofa or just a bed, we don't do appointments for that. So for that reason, we haven't partnered with Habitat, but there are a lot of organizations still out there wanting to be a part of Flourish, and building the capacity to be able to help them as well is really important. We just have had 3 new organizations join this year. So,
I'm not sure what he was referring to with partnering with Habitat, but most of the restore facilities now take donations of furniture, and they're full of a lot of furniture. After a while, I know they mark them down. They probably get to the point where they just dispose of them.
Yeah.
If we go to the larger restore out here on 95th Street, there's a lot of furniture in there. I think a lot of it could be rehabbed.
Yeah. And we do pick up from Habitat in Martin City. We have done that many times in the past. We also, so we get items from, I did a little shortened version of our presentation tonight just because we wanted to talk about woodworking more. But we get about half of the items that we receive from individual families and about half from corporate resources. So we go to Savers and Crowley Furniture and Han Bedding and lots of corporate partners as well each week to do pickups. So Kansas City Royals.
There's a question online. It says, is there a phone number if people are interested in donating?
816-946-8600.
Go ahead and repeat that again. We can put that in the chat.
816-946-8600. You can also go to flourishfurniturebank.org. Anyone interested in donating can bring items to our dock. If you can't get them to our dock, we do have a pickup service. Our volunteer pickup service takes several weeks for us to be able to pick that up, just because of the demand, but it can be scheduled right online.
I've got a reputation around the neighborhood that I live in, that I work for, I volunteer at Flourish. On several occasions, I've come out in the morning and found a piece of furniture on my driveway.
My neighbors wonder what I actually do because we also have a bed fund. So we do take used beds, used mattresses, as long as they have no stains and no tears and are in very good condition. But we also have a bed fund. When we can't fulfill the needs of everyone through used beds, we also purchase beds through this fund. And my neighbors will see 24 mattresses on my driveway when I drive up, or people leaving things on my front porch, or so they are really wondering what's going on at my house. So keep them wondering. That's my motto. Anyone else? Raise your hand if you'd like to come to Flourish. I won't put you on the spot. But we would love to have you. And actually, I do have to say, giving these presentations is always fun, and I love the questions. But I've been there a little bit over 2.5 years now. I have yet to give a tour when at the end of it, somebody hasn't said, wow, that's a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. We have 29,000 square feet. It's not enough. We're trying to get some more. But when you're churning that much furniture, and not just furniture, but decor and all kinds of home goods out every week, it takes a lot of space, it takes a lot of workers, and so it's a lot of hard work, but it is a lot of fun, and it's really rewarding when you see a kid who says, you know, I've never had a bed of my own to sleep in, or you see a mom who's been separated from her kids and has worked really, really hard to get back together with them, but they can't be reunited until all the children in the household have a bed to sleep in, and we're the last stop before they get their kids back. And that's always really, really rewarding to see, and that's our volunteers say that's the payment that they get for coming and helping us, so it's great work.
If you've got any extra furniture, you know where you can bring it.
Or towels. Oh, real quick, I should say, I want to let you guys know about the running of the beds. This is our annual fundraiser where people build a bed on wheels and race it. So that's a very safe activity. But you can dress up, you can build a team, you can have a theme, and then we also have music and games and all kinds of sort of a carnival type of atmosphere that day. And this is a fundraiser for us, and helps us also bring awareness to the need for beds for lots and lots of people in Kansas City. So I'm going to leave these up here, and then I'm also going to leave, oh, he's going to get it from top. And then I'm also going to leave this flyer that you can pick up if you'd like. And this has information about volunteering on the front and information about donating on the back. So I'll put that there as well.
You need to move that?
Yeah, go.
There we go. It's like a little microfiche machine. I haven't seen those in a while.
And we'll put all the links down in the description on the chat on the YouTube as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Anyone else have any questions for Amy or Gary? Okay, well,
Thank you.
On behalf of the Guild, I just want to say thank you. This one's having a rough time.
Grab the yellow one, Cal, for your mugshot.
I just want to say thank you guys to you on the Guild, and maybe this could go to Gary. You probably need it. Amy already has one, but it's not much, but a little token of our appreciation. You only can get one by doing a presentation here, so.
We're going paperless.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can have a paper coffee cup at our place anymore.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. We like to take a mug shot pic, so let's get over here and put the mug. You have to show the mug. And your mug and the mug.
Not the mug shots
And
you're used to, Gary.
we take a picture. we take a picture for everybody?
He said, I've done this before.
All right, and thank you guys again. What a wonderful organization you have. We have a couple of announcements. We have 3 items over there that did not get picked up from the raffle. You have something to also, Terry?
I want to promote the miniature museum idea again. It is open on Sign Up Genius. He is a premier miniature carver, worker. Everything is really tiny. You get to talk to him directly. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So please look at it, sign up for it. If you're even interested in how it's made, whether you ever want to do miniatures or not, this is time to see it.
All right, I couldn't agree more. Okay, everyone, have a great evening. Be safe out there. Please feel free to hang out, chat. Also, we could certainly use help cleaning up, putting away the chairs. But everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget to...
A special thank you to our guest today, to the Guild's Leadership Committee, and to all of our information about the Guild, upcoming classes, and events. Please visit our website kcwg.org. You can also find us on social media by searching for Kansas City Woodworkers Guild. And remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications.